dusk in winter. The sun sets in the cold, without friends, without reproaches, after all it has done for us. It goes down believing in nothing. When it has gone, I hear the stream running after it. It has brought its flute. It is a long way. And a little Merwin to get us started. Good evening. Hi out there. What's up, y'all? Welcome. It's Poetry Open Mic ASHEViLLE coming at you live tonight from North Carolina. Thanks for joining us. We welcome people from all over, from wherever. If you want to join us, please join in. I'm going to get things warmed up with a few more poems. I do want to let you know we are brought to you tonight by Sovereign Kava. Many thanks to Sovereign Kava, our sponsor. And be sure and stop by the old Kava bar and get you a free double. And have a good time. We're having a good time tonight. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate y'all being with us. Again, that sign-up sheet is posted in the Poetry Open Mic ASHEViLLE group on Facebook. You can check that out and keep up with all the going-ons. We certainly appreciate it. Cool. We've got some guests coming at you tonight. Hey, Kitty. Be sure and stick around for that. We got some wonderful guests on the mic tonight. We got some extra room on the list if anyone else wants to sign up for a virtual spot. Y'all go ahead and join in. We appreciate it. The life it once had, the moss still growing on the bark, how it will be changed back into all, the ash flakes scattering from the stovepipe over the yard, the garden. And the trees have a point of view we cannot fathom. Though I was one once, the roots are still there, out in the forest, sprouting trumpets and oysters. In the fire in the old cabin, the wood speaks, hisses, in the dance of flame, seasons of sunlight and rain, stories released to the slow breath of the wind. Eerie line at Judicolor Rock. Oh, and thanks for the comments, by the way. We appreciate all the comments. It's always good to hear from our viewers. And, yeah, thanks for tuning in tonight. Cool. Lying curves of rock of river afterward. Stones chime. As if afloat, I lie in the hollow of a river rock. Goats stagger perfect, the steep banks eat the soft branches. Moon takes its place as the rise of crickets and cool winds sweep the twilight valley. The humans we encounter when the sky opens, they with talisman and dream stories, they with legends of the Cherokee, winced from memories of wolves and turtles and that balance we seek. At Judicolor, they say the rock danced when the sun hid. That etched soapstone from before memory, before anyone came there in a dream, before names of flowers and birds we know now, long before the mines and tractors, In this valley, the seasons awaken and go back to sleep. Safety of surrounding forests hides deep springs with old waters so pure. All around them, newts, mushrooms, and mosses, flies and grasses, little signs. The land still holds sacred for some. Spare workers try to save the hills for another generation and strew colorful flowers that fade to rock and grass. Cows low in the field, little crescents scatter from trees and smile on our faces, folded paper glasses, a blue streak in the second sunset today. Attention! The snow revealed how many fallen trees in the gully, now power lines or houses. No houses to fall on. The rare unused land in the midst of city noise. They didn't make a sound because nobody heard. The animals in the forest knew, but we didn't notice. Sleeping, distracted by the wires and buildings, building worlds that forget our own. But in the snow, the fallen trunks make stark lines against a vertical landscape. The horizon is hills. The sun becomes a hill. The hill becomes night, but we don't keep watching. And this is called Epistle, Returned to Cinder. Why is it I still talk to you, as if I'll see you in the grocery store, though I know I'll never find you? I still look down by the watermelons, old flamenco music in the elevators. I looked in every room of your family's summer home. I knew when I walked in, it was your room. Your desk is still there. I'm doing it again. Perhaps there's some conversation I'm waiting to have with you. Maybe it's not in words or poems, or in the places we've been. Moments late at night when my mind has left the page and I hear that same music. As they were leaving the garden, one of the angels bent down to them and whispered, I am to give you this as you are leaving the garden. I do not know what it is or what it is for. What you will do with it, you will not be able to keep it. But you will not be able to keep anything. Yet they both reached at once for the present, and when their hands met, they laughed. Come to the garden in spring. There's wine and sweethearts in the pomegranate blossoms. If you do not come, these will not matter. If you come, these will not matter. thanks for tuning in to Poetry Open Mic Asheville tonight. We got some awesome guests coming at you. I also want to remind everyone that the Asheville Fringe Festival is coming up this week. They are still doing online shows for that, so check it out. It's going to be an awesome time. You can buy tickets at ASHEViLLEFringe.org and check out all the good stuff coming up. They are going to have some in-person shows in March, but this week, check it out. They're having a film festival. They're having some really cool shows and some cool stuff going on this week. And the good news is you don't even have to be in Asheville to catch it. So see what's going on with the Asheville Fringe Festival. Really good organization. And they've got some really cool shows happening this week. ASHEViLLEFringe.org, folks. That's ASHEViLLEFringe.org. ASHEViLLEFringe.org. All right. I also want to mention our sponsor for the evening, Sovereign Kava, open this evening in Asheville, North Carolina. Just go on by and get yourself a double Kava right there at the Kava bar. We'll check in with them here in a little bit. We really appreciate Sovereign keeping the vibe alive. And check out all the good shows coming up at Sovereign Aaron Woody Wood this Sunday evening at 7 p.m. And next Friday, we got the Lactones in the house, so be sure and check it out. Very good stuff coming up at the bar. Thanks for the comments, everyone. We really appreciate it. Y'all keep the comments coming. We love to hear from our viewers. We're going to go ahead and beam in our next performer now. We've got the poet, historian, writer from Delaware, from Liverpool, now living in Delaware, Christopher T. George on the mic tonight. And we're going to bring him on right now. But we need you, wherever you are. If you're sitting at home, curled up on the couch by the fire, watching, or if you're out and about, perhaps down at the Kava bar drinking a double Kava, we still want you to put your hands together, spin around, jump up and down, scream and shout, and take your socks off for Christopher T. George. Everyone put it together, make some noise. There we go. I can hear ya. All right. Good evening, Christopher.
Hello, Caleb. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing this evening?
Okay. I love that roaring fire that you got going there.
I'm loving it too. Thank you so much. Yes.
I said to Morgan a little bit earlier, I didn't know whether it was the fire at the Grove Park Inn, but I think their fireplace is a little bit bigger than that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is it? They say you can park a Volkswagen in one of those.
That's about it. Yeah. And as I think I told you, I expressly wanted to go to the Grove Park Inn because I'd heard that Scott Fitzgerald and I believe Zelda too stayed there, or else it was when Scott was visiting Zelda in the hospital in Asheville.
Yes, indeed. You can you can also see the site of the former site of the hospital where she died.
I went there, and I also paid homage at their graves in Rockville, Maryland, which was quite a memorable moment. And I know where they lived here in of course I used to be in Baltimore. And knew where they lived on Park Avenue. Not too far, I might add, from the Francis Scott Key monument. And F. Scott Fitzgerald claimed a very distant relationship with Francis Scott Key. And there's this story that he was coming home drunk one time to the house on Park Avenue, and he hid from the statue so that his distant cousin wouldn't see him, So,
good times.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Well. They. We definitely. there's like there's like the Fitzgerald parties in Asheville and stuff. They definitely
Okay, excellent.
he and Zelda very much so is celebrated here in Asheville.
Sure.
So
Well, I mean,
yeah,
that they fascinate me. Much like Sylvia Plath and Ted Hughes and
indeed.
T.S. Eliot and his first wife, Vivian, I think was her name, and
Hmm. Interesting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you you bring some poems? What do you have for us tonight, Christopher?
I'm going to be doing history tonight, if you can believe that. I'm going to be talking about the Battle of Cowpens,
Oh
which
yeah,
occurred
Cowpens, South
near
Carolina.
Gaffney, across the
Mm-hmm.
border from you. And
I know it
I've
well.
been there and given talks about it because it especially interests me because Bannister Tarleton, who was the son of the mayor of Liverpool, was on the British side. And of course, he obtained a terrible reputation in the South. He was bloody ban and was responsible for the massacre, as they called it, at the Waxhaws, near where Andrew Jackson was from.
Ah.
And John Eager Howard, Lieutenant Colonel, was commanding the Maryland troops on the American side, and he helped turn the battle in favor of the Americans. So, yeah.
That's fascinating. Yeah, I know those areas very well. I've been to those Waxhaw and the well, I've been to the Hermitage and
Great.
and the Gaffney. I guess of course this was this all happened long before they built the giant peach water tower.
I
And
think so.
it's the most recognizable landmark there now.
I don't think the British were marching past and said, "Oh, look at that water tower up there,"
Right, right. That would have been weird.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, when you think about it, the United States used to be a British colony, the 13 colonies, and I think the British, who lived then, would have been astonished to see what happened to the United States since then, becoming a world power and everything.
Yeah, yeah. Who would have thought? Well, cool, man. I'll turn it over to you and sit back and might have to take some notes too.
Well, I hope so, because there'll be a quiz afterwards.
Oh shit. Darn, pop quiz tonight, y'all. You heard that? All right. All right, well, let's get down to it then. Everyone give a hand one more time for Christopher T. George.
All right, everyone. I usually do poetry here, or maybe a little bit of prose. Last time I was here, I did some Edgar Allan Poe, poems of my own about Poe, and a little bit of Poe himself, Annabel Lee, and one or two other things. But I've been a historian for a number of years, mostly talking about the War of 1812. I've written a couple of books about the War of 1812 in the Chesapeake, but one of my other topics is the American Revolution. And as I was just saying to Caleb, I've been to the battlefield at Cowpens, also Camden and Utah Springs. And one of the American heroes at the battle was John Eager Howard. There were a couple of equestrian monuments in Mount Vernon, which is kind of the ritzy area of Baltimore. You might think of Baltimore in terms of The Wire, the drug problem that they have in Baltimore, and the kind of guys shooting each other and everything. But we also have a ritzy area called Mount Vernon, where the Washington Monument is, which is the first major monument to George Washington that was built. It so happens that Robert Mills, who was the architect for that monument, also designed the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C., although they're vastly different. The Washington Monument in Baltimore is this kind of Doric pillar with Washington at the top of it, wearing a toga, and he's handing in his resignation. And one of my poet friends pointed out, isn't it significant that you have this big column, almost like a penis, with this little man coming out of it? And he thought that that was very appropriate or very funny, whichever way you want to look at it. In any case, as I say, that was a significant thing in terms of Baltimore history. The Washington Monument was originally going to be built where the Battle Monument, memorializing the dead from the War of 1812, would eventually be built. And the people who lived down there were very nervous about this very tall monument being built there. They were afraid that it would fall on their houses. And John Eager Howard, who is the Baltimorean, whom, as I say, was the hero from Maryland, leading the Maryland line at Cowpens, gave the land in what was then Howard's Woods to build the Washington Monument. And there are two equestrian statues. One of them is the statue of Lafayette, which was unveiled by President Calvin Coolidge in the 1920s. Of course, the Americans in the First World War went over to support the French, to fight the Germans. The other equestrian monument is the one of John Eager Howard, and you can see it at the bottom there. And John Eager Howard, for his heroism, was awarded a Congressional Silver Medal by Congress, and a representation of that is seen on the plinth of his monument. So I'm going to be talking a bit about John Eager Howard, Baltimore's first hero, as I said in this article that I published in the 1990s. His name endures in Baltimore and Maryland, Eager Street, Howard County. As the hero of the Battle of Cowpens on January 17th, 1781, John Eager Howard became Baltimore's first hero and an important figure in our war for independence. Later, he served 3 terms as governor of Maryland and twice as United States Senator for Maryland. John Eager Howard was born on June 4th, 1752, at the Howard Estate at Grey Rock in Garrison Forest, about a mile north of present-day Pikesville, and that's northwest of Baltimore City itself. The Howards had lived in the area for 60 years before his birth, and interesting to me is that not far from where I was born in Liverpool, the nearest big city is Manchester, and according to Howard family tradition, Joshua Howard came from Manchester, England. As if a precursor to his grandson's military exploits, in 1685, young Joshua is said to have joined the supporters of the Duke of Monmouth and marched on London in the attempted revolt against the tyrannous King James II. After the failure of the rebellion, fearing his father's anger should he return home, young Howard chose to flee to the American colonies. And this was kind of a pattern. A young man would get into trouble in England and he'd either go to sea or some rebels were transported out. And I know that there was at least one case of a Scotsman who was involved in supporting the Old Pretender, as he was called, when the Stuarts were overthrown. And he was a convict sent to Maryland, and he later on became sheriff of Calvert County in the south of Maryland. Ironically, although the future hero of Cowpens became a leading patriot, his brother Cornelius was a Tory who remained in sympathy with the British Crown to the end of his days. For years, he endured the penalty of double taxation for his opinions. However, unlike other Tories who were run out of Maryland, he retained the friendship of his fellow citizens and was elected a member of the House of Delegates in 1793 and as a judge of the Orphans' Court. Howard was at the Battle of Germantown when the British came up to Philadelphia in 1777. Major Howard also commanded the Maryland troops at the Battle of Monmouth, June 28, 1778. So he was involved from the very beginning. He was commissioned lieutenant colonel in the 5th Maryland Regiment, June 1st, 1779. At the Battle of Camden, South Carolina, on August 16, 1780, when most American units collapsed before Lord Cornwallis's regulars and Congress's choice as American commander, General Horatio Gates, had fled soon after the battle began. Howard's Marylanders held their ground. Gates, with a superior force of over 4,000 men, but with numerous militia units, had tried to attack the British at night, unaware that the British commander also had the idea of attacking the rebels the same night. The British cavalry under the notorious Green Dragoon, Lieutenant Colonel Bannister Tarleton, and I'll show you his picture. That's a picture of Bannister Tarleton by Sir Joshua Reynolds. And he's a favorite of mine because he was from Liverpool, where I'm from, and he was actually the son of the mayor of Baltimore. What do I say? Mayor of Liverpool in the 1760s. And the Tarletons were also big into slavery. They made a lot of money from slavery, and Tarleton was in the House of Lords. He became a baronet for his work in the military, and was in the House of Lords, and he defended slavery at that time. So the British were under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Bannister Tarleton. They ran head-on into Gates's advanced forces and shattered them. When the American commander saw his militia fleeing from the advancing British, he thought the battle was over and turned tail. He spurred his horse and galloped to safety. He didn't stop until he reached Charlotte, nearly 60 miles away. The disgraced General Gates was replaced in December by Washington's original choice, General Nathanael Greene. Greene divided his army into two parts. Colonel John Eager Howard's Marylanders would go west as part of an army of 600 under Brigadier General Daniel Morgan, hero of Saratoga, who was told to give protection and spirit up the people. Greene himself retained the rest of the army and would remain in the east of the Carolinas. The American commander devised a plan to divide his army to enable facility of movement, to survive off the land, and to harass the British and retreat if necessary. Morgan's army left Charlotte on December the 21st. On the bitterly cold morning of January 17th, 1781, Tarleton caught up with Morgan at a place called Hannah's Cowpens, a clearing used for winter pasture about 5 miles south of the Broad River. Morgan had by this time been joined by 300 North Carolina militiamen under Colonel Andrew Pickens. The American commander positioned Howard and the Maryland line just below the crest of a hill, with Washington's cavalry hidden behind the hill. Pickens' militia would form the American front line. Morgan expected the militiamen to panic when pressed by the British. He knew the fight of the militia would draw the British onward. The wily Virginian intended then to slam Tarleton with the experienced regulars under Howard and Washington's veteran cavalry. As the British advanced up the hill, Pickens' militia, as expected, fired 2 rounds and then retired. Tarleton, sensing victory, ordered his Highlanders into action. The Scotsmen marched up the hill, bagpipes squirling, threatening Howard's right flank. The Marylander ordered his Virginia troops to face about and wheel to the right. Howard later said, in doing this, some confusion ensued, and first a part and then the whole of the company commenced to retreat. General Morgan galloped up to Howard, demanding the reason for the retreat. Howard recalled, I soon removed his fears by pointing to the line and observing that men were not beaten who retreated in that order. Morgan ordered Howard to keep up with the men until they came to the crest of the hill, near where Colonel Washington's cavalry lay in wait. And when I say Washington, that's not George Washington. It's a cousin of George Washington. And then to have his men turn and face the enemy. The Marylander followed his commander's order exactly. In a minute, we had a perfect line, he stated later. The enemy were very near us. The men commenced a very destructive fire, which they little expected, and a few rounds occasioned great disorder in their ranks. The British confusion was not surprising. They were blasted by musket fire at near point-blank range by a foe they thought they had beaten. In the midst of the British confusion, Howard ordered a bayonet charge. The American line advanced, bugles blowing, bayonets bristling at the fleeing redcoats. As one 16-year-old American, Private Thomas Young, later gleefully recalled, the British broke, and throwing down their guns and cartouche boxes, made for the wagon road and did the prettiest sort of running. And I'm going to end with that, and I'll probably be doing poetry next week. And I want to thank Morgan and Caleb for this great platform. Thank you, everyone.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Christopher T. George. Appreciate the perspective. And the interesting how did everything. There's so many connections in there, and such.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to get down your way. I have a distant cousin who's going to be coming down to, I believe it's Wainwright University near Chapel Hill in the next few months, and there's also a conference where I may be coming down to speak again about Cowpens, and would look forward to coming to ASHEViLLE and performing, hopefully.
Absolutely, we'd love to have you, and hopefully things will work out soon. But in the meantime, we'll see you here next time, and as always, thanks for stopping by, Christopher.
All right, thank you.
Indeed. Everyone, give a round of applause one more time for Christopher T. George, all the way from Delaware tonight. Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
And you got it locked to Poetry Open Mic Asheville, coming at you live from Asheville, North Carolina, or somewhere thereabouts, wheresoever. Thanks for keeping up with us. We've got Ease Dog coming up next on the mic. I do want to remind you that our performers, you all get a free double shot of Kava, so stop by the Kava bar and pick that up. We're open noon to midnight, and check us out there, 268 Biltmore Avenue in Asheville. Also, we got Aaron Woodywood coming up this Sunday at 7 p.m. That's going to be a great evening of music, so check that out. That's going to be one of the first shows we'll be having back at the bar this month. So join us for some much needed live music and good times, good people, and we'll be bringing you more and more in the months to come. So keep up with Sovereign Kava there in Asheville. We really appreciate their support, helping us keep this thing going for over 10 years now. So thank you very much. We're going to keep rocking and rolling here, but I do want to remind everybody also about the Asheville Fringe Festival coming up. You can get tickets at ashevillefringe.org. That's ashevillefringe.org. Check it out. They've got some fine shows happening this week and a whole lot more. So check it out. And yes, indeed, we appreciate them as well. Thank you to all the comments from our viewers. Keep them coming. We love to hear from our viewers. Much love. Big shout out to Rachel. Big shout out to Facebook user. We appreciate you. Definitely keep the comments coming, and we keep doing it for y'all. It's nice to know y'all are out there. Let us know how you're doing. What's going on? What's up? How you digging? All right. Thank you. All right, we're going to keep it moving for you here because the one and only Ease Dog is in the virtual house with us. Tonight, we're very happy to have Ease Dog here, and we're going to beam him in direct. But we need y'all to make a whole bunch of noise to get Ease Dog up in here. Y'all going to have to jump up and down, spin around, scream and shout for Ease. Doggy Dog, give it up! What's up, Ease? How you doing? Hey, good to see you.
Good to see y'all too once again.
Indeed. Yeah, we're doing well. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, just chilling.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So I know you've been staying busy. You've been working on a lot of new music and writing some new songs, and you also make a lot of your own beats. You do all the production on a lot of your stuff. So yeah, what have you been working on, Ease?
Well, this EP called Asher's Finest 2 Harvey Streets, it's about halfway done, so that's good.
All right.
And I'm hoping to have it out, though, between March and April when it starts getting warm again.
Yeah.
And I actually want to do the release party for it, too.
Yeah, that'll be good. Once it gets warm again, we'll get some shows going again, and yeah, let's have a big old release party for it.
Yeah,
like, we're stoked. We're excited to hear it.
Yeah, and I'm planning on having the release party over here too. Once again, like I did with the Asher's Finest video release party.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, we're all about it, man. What are you gonna do for us tonight?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little couple jams for y'all though to keep y'all warm in this chill. Like it's real chill outside. Have to work in this all day too.
I know. What it is, it's gotta be in the teens right now, right? And it's 20 20-something, 21. Yeah. But yeah, it is nice and cold. So yeah, we're definitely ready to heat it up in here. So let's turn it over to Ease Dog and get some of that hot fire going. Y'all gonna have to make some noise though. Give it up for Ease Doggy Dog!
What up, y'all? Cinder, Kava, live at home. This is your boy Ease Dog, and we're live once again at my crib. Yes, courtesy of Caleb and Cinder Kava. How's everyone doing? Well, unfortunately, we going back to virtual, and hopefully I can get back in person though, because you know I actually like to bring y'all the in-person action, get the in-live experience from yours truly. As you can see, I done got this badass chain with my name on it, thanks to my girl who got it for me for Christmas. But anyways, I'm about to go ahead and start y'all off with the first song of the night. And this song been blown up. I mean, blowing up like dynamite. I mean, I never thought that a fusion like a rap and bluegrass would actually pull this off, especially in Asheville. So I'm about to go ahead and give y'all the taste of the country city vibe with my song, my recent song, actually going back to Maggie Valley. Y'all probably heard that song already. Now, let's take this back to Maggie Valley right now. Produced by me, by the way. Yeah, we're gonna do a little something different like this. We're gonna take a ride from the city to the country. Ease Dog on the track. I'm going back to Maggie Valley. I'm going Maggie Valley. Oh, I think so. I'm going back to Maggie Valley. I'm going Maggie Valley. Oh, I think so. 1, 2, 3. I'm going Maggie Valley where the scenery is great. I gotta get away, boy. I cannot wait. There is so much to do. I gotta make a list. It's your city boy Ease for my country boy Ish. I throw on my rags and put on my gems. Before I make that trip, got to hit the ATM. Myself and my boy Ease hit the highway early. Today at Legends Karaoke Thursday. I'm going back to Maggie Valley. I'm going Maggie Valley. Oh, I think so. I'm going back to Maggie Valley. I'm going Maggie Valley. Oh, I think so. 1, 2, 3. I'm going back to Maggie, straight from Asheville. I finna parch and hungry. I need a bar and grill, an Angus beef with cheese with a tall glass of beer. We on the road again, almost struck a deer. Tonight is still young, so we hit the bar next door. I see a lot of fine ladies on the dance floor. Drink some moonshine at the distillery. The town show me love, separate hospitality. I'm going back to Maggie Valley. I'm going Maggie Valley. Oh, I think so. I'm going back to Maggie Valley. I'm going Maggie Valley. Oh, I think so. 1, 2, 3. I'm going back to Maggie. I'm feeling kinda lucky. I'm on the interstate singing Tennessee whiskey. Right here at the mountain, no signal on my phone. Cherokee County, a long way from home. Time to try my luck and place a tribal bingo. The next stop, Paris Resorts and Casino. Elevator down and the whole place is high. I have plenty of money, so I'ma hit the slots. I put it in 60, but only want a 20. Instead of me stopping, I spent me some money. The same that I know I'm playing blackjack. I stood at 20, really one, I was mad. Decided to take my losses and my cash out. Before I take my lead, I got to cash out. I still had a time with me and my friend. I'm planning on coming back to Maggie Valley again. I'm going back to Maggie Valley. I'm going Maggie Valley. Oh, I think so. I'm going back to Maggie Valley. I'm going Maggie Valley. Oh, I think so. Oh, 1, 2, 3. East Dog at its finest. You probably wasn't expecting for the bluegrass and rap fusion to come together like this, were you? Oh, yeah. And that was the wonderful country rap fusion track, Going Back to Maggie Valley. Yeah, everybody's fucking with that Maggie Valley, like straight up. And I still yet to do the Maggie Valley joint over at Maggie Valley, but it's possible once it starts getting warm again, I'm actually going to take that trip to Maggie Valley and perform Maggie Valley at Maggie Valley. You know what I'm saying? So further ado, I'm going to go to the last track of the night. But before I do, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know I actually have an ASHEViLLE Finest EP CD out right now. Produced by me, lyrics, beats, production, cover art, I did art. I usually let it go for 5, and they loved it, and I make it these. Oh, wait a minute. I hope I ain't freezing. Please tell me I ain't freezing. Oh dear, this is not good. Wow. All right, I'll tell you what. Assuming that I'm still live, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it going like I actually was still live. So, as I said, I got the ASHEViLLE Finest CD if you actually want it, but I'm thinking about dropping the price though, so everybody can get the ASHEViLLE Finest, at least before I hit the sequel at least. I'm trying to get everybody into the ASHEViLLE Finest before I hit them with the Heart of the Streets. Know what I'm saying? Once I get some more and stuff, of course. But anyways, I'm actually gonna be doing like a show though, like I'm actually performing over at Old Henry's on the 4th. They do like a talent search like every first of the Friday, and I'm gonna try to get on there so I can actually get like $100 booking gig. Big opportunities, new faces, and I like it. So right now, we're gonna go ahead and go to the next track, one of my favorites recently called Future's Sake. Unfortunately, we're dealing with the Omicron variant right now, or whatever new variant that's coming out right now. We still need to do our part to get through this. And I'll be glad they already canceled the anime convention though for this year again, which I'm pissed because I look forward to the anime conventions every year. But I ain't gonna hold you over. Here is Future's Sake, produced by me. Ease Dog on the track. This is an Ease Dog public service announcement. We're dealing with something serious. This coronavirus. We got to work together for future's sake. It's affected the world from your old grandparents to your little girl. For a future sake, find a way to care for a better day. For a future sake, so this pandemic will go away. For a future sake, y'all listen to the word that I have to say. Everybody in the world going through hard times. It's your boy E-Star with these hard rhymes. It's a cold red down here, major crisis, killing more people than the ISIS. Thanks to the fools of coronavirus, we got to work together. We must fight this. For the elderly kids, they are vulnerable. Gotta play it safe, this shit ain't curable. People be taking this as a joke. It's all from the game to the casket closed. And imagine in the hospital fighting for life. And you don't know if you're gonna live or die. This ain't no flu, but COVID is real. Over 1 million have fallen ill. Now it's up to us to battle this killer. Do you think that I'm playing? Just read the figures. It's affected the world from your old grandparents to your little girl. For a future sake, find a way to care for a better day. For a future sake, so this pandemic will go away. For a future sake, y'all listen to the words that I have to say. Every day I wake up, someone's infected. If you're sick or not sick, everyone's affected. People losing their jobs, can't pay the bills. Everything's closed down, shit's scared and real. Forget of the worst, everyone is stressing. They already talking about another recession. Can't go to the store without no worry. Everything's all gone, it's the same old story. Whole world is at a standstill for now. Every major city has done shut down. Life is dead and done is out. Can't do anything with bigger crowd. Stay home, stay safe, order is in place to keep America great, America safe. We can do our part to make this better. We can all be strong to any weather. It's affected the world from your old grandparents to your little girl. For a future sake, find a way to care for a better day. For a future sake, so this pandemic will go away. For a future sake, y'all listen to the words that I have to say. Pandemic will be over sooner or later. It'll take cooperation, say a prayer. Take 6 feet, practice social distancing. Here's my advice. Are you listening? Keep your hands washed and sanitized. Write down everything where germ will dry. If we all do this, just a brighter day. Be easy, be great, and y'all stay safe. Yeah. That was the wonderful, lovely track, Future Sake. Yes. The pandemic jam, of course. Yes. Thank y'all for having me, as well as y'all having me. If you want to hear my fire tracks, go to my SoundCloud, EazeDoggyDog, or just type in EazeDog, EAZEDOGG, SoundCloud search engine. And also follow me, if you haven't done so, on Instagram, EazeDoggyDog. Follow me, EazeDoggyDog. And keep up with me on my EazeDog Facebook page for show appearances, dates, and etc. And also check out my music video for Asher's Finest. YouTube search engine, EazeDog, or type in Asher's Finest on there. And don't forget to check out my TikTok, just got it. And when in doubt, Google EazeDog. See if anything will pull up.
Thanks, EazeDog. Sounded great. We can hear you loud and clear. Thanks for stopping by tonight.
Thank you very much. I just wish I could see myself moving, though.
It happens sometimes, man. But good thing is still working over here. So we heard you. We heard the music, and we really appreciate it. We look forward to the next album, and it was good to hear that stuff,
That's
especially Maggie Valley, the new track, and we look forward to seeing you again real soon, Ease.
Oh yes, y'all be easy, be safe.
All right, thank you, Ease. Everybody, give it up one more time for EazeDoggyDog. See ya. Yes, indeed. Be easy, be safe, and keep it locked right here to Poetry Over Mike Asheville. Coming at you live from Asheville, North Carolina. Thanks again to Max Mellner for our theme music tonight. Sovereign Kava, our sponsor. Everyone, our viewers, everyone who's tuned in, everyone, we really appreciate all the comments. Keep them coming. And, we'll keep doing this for y'all. Let's see, do we have Emilio next, or do we have anyone next? We do have a few extra spots tonight. If anyone wants one, just follow that StreamYard link. Enter the broadcast studio. And otherwise, we will just go ahead and wrap it up, I guess. But I do want to also remind everyone to check out Sovereign Kava's Drop By, Get a Drink, and all that good stuff. And please check out also the Asheville Fringe Arts Festival starting tomorrow, Thursday through Sunday this week. There's a film festival as well as some live stream performances, and you can find all of that at ASHEVILLEFRINGE.org. That's ASHEVILLEFRINGE.org. Check it out. Good stuff. And also check out Sunday evening at 7 p.m. We got Aaron Woodywood live in person at Sovereign Kava Bar. Check it out. It's going to be a good time. Here. Alright, let's see if we have some points in. Thanks for rocking with us tonight. We really do appreciate y'all continuing to support this and help us keep this event going that we've been doing for 10 years here in Asheville. 11 years now, I guess. Damn. So thanks for helping keep the vibe alive, being part of it, and everyone showing up and sharing and tuning in, liking, sharing, commenting, all that good stuff helps keep it going. And see y'all soon. Here's a poem that doesn't go with the seasons. Here's a thunderstorm in a January night, startling the dogs. Here's another hurricane stronger than the last. It roams far inland, sweeps away mountain towns by the river in August, where an old man has never seen the ocean. 70,000 pounds of trout from the trout farm. Now somewhere downstream, an old fisherman finally has his day. Here's an endless inferno encircling the earth's tallest redwoods, burning up towns, closing in on big cities. Here's polluted waters becoming rain over the valley. In the pink morning, here's tomorrow filled with glass. Here's night sky moving away from the light. Tree limbs sawn to make way for power lines. 10,000-foot peaks drilled to vast gravel pits, now an attraction. Here's where the waterfall used to be, worn away by tourist feet. Here's a poem that self-destructs and takes us all with it. Here's a poem that eats us like a virus. Here's the last eastern hemlocks, still alive at sunset. Variations on cruelty. Red chains, all over the roads, red chains, burials, sunken road, red chains, covered in loaded, torn pieces of canyon dream, red roads called in, cover me, go down the red, eerie road, sullen afterglow, red, dark phantasm, red window, old red pack of cigarettes, glue gun after your birthday, red, blue pond filled with red, road chains calling your dead, homeboy who left tags on abandoned walls, call me out, seen visions of Apollo on the beach at Delos. Red, the sun, red sun on the terrace of the lions. The red chains of the capitalist abide. Strewn red streets, marred gazelles. Loaded red weapon, loaded mind that was red. Red moon, red night. All right. I'm going to do this poem by, let's see, what are we doing here? Yes, we're going to do some Chia Dow of the O'Connor. I've already heard you're back on White Pavilion. Through the rain-rinsed air, I can see that far peak. In a stone dwelling, a man with a quiet heart. On frozen ponds, shadows of the waning moon. Small clouds, one by one, break up, dissolve. Old trees fall for firewood. In the depths of night, who hears the stone chimes? It's cold on West Crag's highest peak. Again, winter catches us out, a traveler far from home. The cookpot's empty, and the ladle too. Tears streak a cold pillow. Human tracks end in old mountains. Ice forms on the duckweed stream. Snow flies in a bare willow wind. Chickens still haven't announced the first light of day when I hear the cries of 2 or 3 wild swans. When I find you again, it will be in mountains. This morning I lose you once more to farewell. Free of attachment and heart and mind. Is it why you can go 10,000 li alone to places with such little human warmth, where when you meet someone, they speak an ancient tongue? Traveling without disciples, you have only a white dog for company. And yes, I'll do this poem by the poet Catherine Sonniat. What else is there to do? Because the earth spins round and our lives are wired, we don't hear the slow drip of rain from the eaves. Bell in the breeze, mist. So we say we're busy thinking, thoughts that multiply and reinvent themselves. Lips stretch to a smile or turn down with menace on bad days. Maintain a glimmer of yourself running through the hourglass. In the middle of a starry galaxy, you might look down through miles of wonder. Try rubbing your cheek on bark of a tree, then waiting like the jaguar whose nose is said to be uncanny. One summer morning, the man who had a profound stutter was heard speaking fluently to the lion in the zoo, while a deaf girl at school wanted most to live in a sea cave with her drum. I want to try this one out. Since we got the time, I'm figuring I'll give this a shot. This comes from the genre of psychedelic poetry from old Uncle Allen Ginsberg. This is Whale's Visitation. White fog lifting and falling on mountain brow. Trees moving in rivers of wind, the clouds arise, as on a wave, gigantic eddy lifting mist. Above teeming ferns exquisitely swayed, along a green crag, glimpsed through mullined glass in valley rain. Bardic, O self, visitation, tell not but what's seen by one man in a vale in Albion, of the folk whose physical sciences end in ecology, the wisdom of earthly relations, of mouths and eyes, internet, 10 centuries visible orchards of the mind, language manifest human, of the satanic thistle that raises its horned symmetry, flowering above sister grass, daisies pink tiny, bloomlets, angelic as light bulbs. Remember, 160 miles from London's symmetrical, thorned tower and network of TV pictures flashing bearded yourself, the lambs on the tree-nooked hillside this day bleeding, heard in Blake's old ear, and the silent thought of Wordsworth in Eld stillness, clouds passing through skeleton arches of Tintern Abbey, barred nameless as the vast babble to vastness. All the valley quivered, one extended motion, wind undulating on mossy hills. A giant wash that sank white fog delicately down red tunnels on mountainside, whose leaf branch tendrils moved away in gigantic undertow down, and lifting the floating nebulous upward, and lifted the arms of the trees, and lifted the grasses, an instant in balance, and lifted the lambs to hold still, and lifted the green of the hill in one solemn wave. wave, a solid mass of heaven, mist-infused, ebbs through the veil, a wavelet of immensity lapping gigantic through Lanthony Valley, the length of all England, valley upon valley under heaven's ocean, toned with cloud hang, heaven balanced on a grass blade. Roar of the mountain wind slow, sigh of the body, one being on the mountain side, stirring gently, exquisite scales trembling everywhere in balance. One motion through the cloudy sky floor, shifting on the 1,000,000 feet of daisies. One majesty, the motions that stirred wet grass, quivering to the farthest tendril of white fog poured down through shivering flowers on the mountain's head. No imperfection in the budded mountain. Valleys breathe, heaven and earth move together. Daisies push inches of yellow air, vegetables tremble, grass shimmers green, sheep speckle the mountainside, revolving their jaws with empty eyes, horses dance in the warm rain. Tree-lined canals network live farmland, blueberries fringe stone walls on hawthorned hills, pheasants croak on the meadows, haired with fern. Out on the hillside, into the ocean sound, into the delicate gusts of wet air, fall on the ground. Oh, great wetness! Oh, mother, no harm on your body. Stare close, no imperfection in the grass. Each flower, Buddha eye, repeating the story, myriad formed. Kneel before the foxglove, raising green buds. Mauve bells drooped, doubled down, the stem trembling, antennae, and look in the eyes of those braided, branded lambs that stare, breathing, stock still under dripping hawthorn. I lay down, mixing my beard with the wet hair of the mountainside, smelling the brown vagina moist ground, harmless, tasting the violet thistle hair sweetness, one being so balanced, so vast, that its softness, softest breath moves every floweret in the stillness on the valley floor. Trembles, lamb hair hung gossamer rain beaded in the grass, lifts trees on their roots, birds in the great drought lifting their strength to the sun, bearing same weight. Groan, through breast and neck a great to the earth, heart calling our presence together. The great secret is no secret. Senses fit the winds, visible is visible. Rain mist curtains wave through the bearded veil. Gray atoms wet the wind's Kabbalah. Cross-legged on a rock in dusk rang, rubber booted in soft grass. Mind moveless, breath trembles in white daisies by the roadside. Heaven, breath, and my own symmetric airs wavering through antlered green fern drawn in my navel. Same breath as breathes through capelli fens sounds of Aleph and Om, through forests of gristle, my skull and Lord Hereford's knob equal, all Albion one. What did I notice? Particulars. The vision of the Great One is myriad. Smoke curls upward from ashtray. House fire burned low. The night, still wet and moody, black heaven, starless, upward in motion with wet wind. Oh, indeed. Without a net, I catch a falcon and release it to the sky, hunting for God. This wine I drink today, it was never held in a clay jar. I love this world. Even as I hear the great wind of leaving it rising. For there's a grainy taste I prefer to every idea of heaven. Human friendship. Human friendship. Thanks, friends. It's been a great open mic. Thanks to everyone who showed up. I guess we'll see y'all next time. Be sure and support Sovereign Kava. That's who supports us. We appreciate it. We really, really appreciate our technical director, Caleb Beissert. Just rolling with it and making it all happen. We really appreciate you. Of course, I'm your host, Caleb Beissert. It's always an honor and a pleasure. It's great to be here with y'all. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for the likes and shares. Keep up with us at Poetry Open Mic AVL on Facebook and YouTube. And check out the Aaron Woody Woods show at Sovereign Kava this Sunday at 7 p.m. And also coming up, the Asheville Fringe Festival. Tickets at ashevillefringe.org. That starts tomorrow and runs through Sunday. We really appreciate y'all. Check us out. Keep doing what you do. Don't ever stop. We love y'all. And we'll see you next time. Peace. We're dealing.